First Chronicles chapter 11. David's rise and capture of Zion. Then all Israel gathered to David at Hebron, saying, Behold, we are your own flesh and blood. In the past, even when Saul was king, you were the one that led out and brought in Israel. Adonai your God also said to you, You shall shepherd my people Israel, and you shall be ruler over my people Israel. When the elders of Israel came to the king at Hebron, David made a covenant with them in Hebron before Adonai. They anointed David king over Israel, in keeping with the word of Adonai, by the hand of Samuel. Then David and all of Israel went to Jerusalem, that is, Jebus, where the Jebusite inhabitants of the land lived. Now the residents of Jebus said to David, You cannot get in here. Nevertheless, David captured the stronghold of Zion, which is now the city of David. David had said, Whoever strikes down the Jebusites first will be commanders-in-chief. So Joab, son of Zeruiah, went up first, so he became commander. David lived in the stronghold. For this reason it is called the city of David. He fortified the city all around, from the Milo to the surrounding walls. And Joab prepared the rest of the city. David grew more and more powerful because Adonai-Zavach was with him. David's mighty men. Now these were the chiefs of David's mighty men, who strongly supported him in his kingdom, together with all Israel, to make him king according to the word of Adonai over Israel. This is a list of David's mighty men. Jashobeam, the son of Hachmoni, was the chief of the 30. He wielded his spear against 300 and slew them all at one time. After him was Eleazar, son of Dodo the Ahonite, who was one of the 3 mighty men. He was with David at Pasdammim when the Philistines assembled there for battle. There was a plot of ground full of barley where the army retreated from before the Philistines. But they took a stand in the middle of the plot. They defended it and struck down the Philistines. Adonai delivered a great victory. 3 of the 30 leaders went down to David at the rock of the cave of Adullam, while a band of the Philistines was encamped in the valley of Rephaim. At that time, David was in the stronghold, while the garrison of the Philistines was in Bethlehem. David had a craving and said, If only someone would give me water to drink from the cistern by the gate in Bethlehem. So the 3 broke through the Philistine camp and drew water from the cistern by the gate in Bethlehem and carried it back to David. But David refused to drink it. He poured it out to Adonai and said, Far be it from me that I should do this before my God. Can I drink the blood of these men who risked their lives? For they brought it at the risk of their lives, and he would not drink it. Such were the exploits of the 3 mighty men. Abishai, Joab's brother, was chief of the 3. He once wielded his spear against 300 and slew them. Thus he won a name among the 3. Of the 3, he was more highly esteemed than any other 2, and became their commander, even though he was not one of the 3. Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, was a valiant man from Kabzeel who had done mighty deeds. He killed the 2 sons of Adiel of Moab, and went down and killed a lion inside a pit on a snowy day. He also killed the giant Egyptian man who was 5 cubits tall. In his hand the Egyptian had a spear, like a weaver's beam, yet Benaiah attacked him with a club. He snatched the spear out of the Egyptian's hand and killed him with his own spear. These were the exploits of Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, who gained renown among the 3 mighty men. Behold, he was more honorable than the 30, yet he was not one of the 3. Nevertheless, David set him over his bodyguard. The mighty men were Hasael, Joab's brother, Elhanan, son of Dodo from Bethlehem, Shema the Haronite, Helez the Pelonite, Ira, son of Ikish the Tekoanite, Abiezer the Anathite, Sibbecai the Hushathite, Eli the Ahite, Mare the Netophathite, Heled, son of Baana the Netophathite, Ithai, son of Ribai from Gibeah. Of the children of Benjamin, Benaiah the Pirathonite, Hurai of Nahel-Gaash, Abiel the Arbathite, Asmaveth the Baharumite, Eliahaba the Shelbanite, the sons of Hashem of the Gizonite, Jonathan, son of Shegeh the Haranite, Ahiam, son of Sakar the Haranite, Eliaphal, son of Hefer the Meherathite, Ahijah the Pelonite, Hezro the Carmelite, Hariah the son of Ezbai, Joel the brother of Nathan, Mebar, son of Haggedes, Elek the Ammonite, Nade the Berothite, the armor-bearer of the Joab of Zeruiah, Ira the Ithrite, Gareb the Ithrite, Uriah the Hittite, Zabad, son of Ahle, Adina, the son of Shiza, the Reubenite, a chief of the Reubenites, and 30 with him. Hanan, son of Maacah, and Joshaphat, the Mithnite, Uzziah, the Ashtarite, Shammah and Jael, sons of Hotham, the Arorite, Jediel, son of Shimri, and Joah, his brother, the Tizite, Eliel, the Mahavite, Jerubbaal, and Joshaviah, sons of Elnaam, and Ithma, the Moabite, Eliel, Obed, and Jahasiel, the Mezoabite. 1 Chronicles chapter 12. All Israel rallies to David. Now these are the men who came to David at Ziklag when he was banished from the presence of Saul the son of Kish. They were among the warriors who assisted him in battle. They were armed with bows and could use both right hand and left to sling stones and shoot arrows from the bow. They were Saul's kinsmen from Benjamin. Their chief was Ahiezer, then Joash, sons of the Shammah, and the Gibeathite, Jeziel and Pelet, son of Asmaveth, and Berekah, Jehu the Anathonite, Ishmaiah the Gibeonite, a mighty man among the 30 and leading the 30, Jeremiah, Jahasiel, Johanan, Jozabad the Gederathite, Eluazeh, Jeremoth, Baaliah, Shemariah, Shephatiah the Heraphite, Elkanah, Asaiah, Azarel, Joazer, and Joshabeam the Korahites, Joelah, and Zebediah, son of Jeroham from Gedor. Some of the Gadites there withdrew to follow David to the stronghold in the wilderness. They were valiant men trained for battle, armed with shield and spear, whose faces were like the faces of lions, and were as swift as the gazelles in the mountains. Ezer the chief, Obadiah the second, Eliab the third, Mishmannah the fourth, Jeremiah the fifth, Attai the sixth, Eliel the seventh, Johanan the eighth, Elzabad the ninth, Jeremiah the 10th, Machbanai the 11th. These were the Gadites, leaders of the army. The least was equal to 100, and the greatest to 1,000. These are the ones who crossed the Jordan in the first month, when it was overflowing its banks, rooting all those in the valleys to the east and to the west. Some of the children of Benjamin, and also from Judah, came to David at the stronghold. David went out to meet them and answered them, saying, "If you come to me in peace and support me, then my heart will be united with you. But if it is to betray me to my adversaries, when my hands have done no wrong, then may the God of our fathers take notice and judge." Then the Spirit came upon Amasai, leader of the 30. "Where are yours, David, on your side, son of Jesse? Shalom, shalom to you, and shalom to him who helps you, for your God supports you." So David welcomed them and made them leaders of the troops. Some from Manasseh went over to David when the Philistines to build against Saul. But they did not help them, because the Philistine rulers, after consultation, sent him away, saying, "It would cost us our head if he defected to his master Saul." But when he went to Ziklag, these from Manasseh joined him: Adnah, Jozabad, Jediel, Michael, Jozabad, Elihu, Zilithai, the leaders of the thousands that were from Manasseh. They helped David against the raiding bands, for all of them were valiant warriors, and they were officers in the army. Day by day, men came to David to help him, until there was a great army like the army of God. These are the numbers of the heads of those armed for war who came to David in Hebron to transfer Saul's kingdom to him, according to the word of Adonai. The sons of Judah that bore shield and spear were 6,800 armed for war. From the sons of Simeon, 7,100 brave warriors ready for war. From the sons of Levi, 4,600. Jehoiada, the leader from the Aaronites, and with him 3,700. Zadok, a young mighty man of valor, with 22 commanders from his clan. From the sons of Benjamin, Saul's kinsmen, 3,000. For up to that time, the majority of them had kept their allegiance to Saul's house. From the sons of Ephraim, 20,800 valiant warriors, famous men in their clan. From the half-tribe of Manasseh, 18,000 who were designated by name to come and make David king. From the sons of Issachar, men who know how to interpret the signs of the times, to determine what Israel should do, 200 chiefs with all their kinsmen under their command. From Zebulun, 50,000 warriors prepared for battle, arrayed with all types of weapons of war and ready to give their undivided loyalty. From Naphtali, 1,000 officers, along with 3,700 with shield and spear. From the Danites, 28,600 equipped for battle. From Asher, 40,000 experienced warriors arrayed for battle. And from beyond the Jordan, from the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, 120,000 armed with every type of weapon of war. All these fighting men prepared for the battle line came to Hebron with a whole heart to make David king over all Israel. All the rest of Israel were also heart to make David king. So they were there with David 3 days, eating and drinking, for their kinsmen had given them provision. Moreover, those who were near to them from as far as Issachar, Zebulun, and Naphtali brought food on donkeys, camels, mules, and oxen. There was flour, pressed figs, raisin, wine, oil, cattle, and sheep in abundance, for indeed there was joy in Israel. 1 Chronicles 13. Ark retrieved from Kiriath Jearim. Then David consulted with the officers of the thousands and of the hundreds, with every leader. David also said to the entire assembly of Israel, if it seems good to you, and is from Adonai Eloheinu, let us spread the word to our kinsmen, who remain in all the regions of Israel, along with the Kohanim and Levites in their towns and pasture lands, to come and join us. Let us bring the ark of our God back for us, for we did not inquire of it in the days of Saul. The entire assembly agreed to do so, for the proposal seemed right in the eyes of all the people. So David assembled all Israel from the Shihor of Egypt to the entrance of Hamat to bring the ark of God from Kiriath Jearim. David and all Israel went up to Baalah, to Kiriath Jearim, that was in Judah, to bring up from there the ark of God, Adonai, who sits enthroned above the cherubim, which is called by his name. They transported the ark of God upon a new cart from the house of Abinadab. Uzzah and Ahio guided the cart, while David and all Israel celebrated before God with their might, with songs, lyres, harps, timbrels, cymbals, and trumpets. But when they came to the threshing floor of Hidon, Uzzah reached out his hand to hold the ark, because the oxen stumbled. The anger of Adonai burned against Uzzah, and he struck him down, because he reached out his hand and touched the ark. He died there before God. David was angry, because Adonai had burst out against Uzzah, so he called that place Perez Uzzah, as it is to this day. David feared God that day, saying, how can I ever bring the ark of God to me? So David did not take the ark with him to the city of David, but left it in the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite. So the ark of God remained with the family of Obed-Edom in his house 3 months. Adonai blessed the house of Obed-Edom and everything that he had. 1 Chronicles 14. Now King Hiram of Tyre sent messengers to David, as well as cedar-long stonemasons and carpenters, to build a palace for him. Then David knew that Adonai had established him king over Israel, for his kingdom was highly exalted for the sake of his people Israel. David took more wives in Jerusalem and fathered more sons and daughters. These are the names of the children born to him in Jerusalem: Shemua, Shobab, Nathan, Solomon, Ibhar, Elishua, Elpelet, Noga, Nepheg, Japhia, Elishama, Beeliada, and Eliphelet. David breaks through at Baal Perazim. When the Philistines heard that David was anointed king over all Israel, all the Philistines went up in search of David, but David heard of it and went out before him. Now the Philistines had come and raided the valley of Rephaim. So David inquired of God, asking, should I go up against the Philistines? Will you give them over to my hand? And Adonai said to him, go up, I will give them over into your hand. So they came to Baal Perazim, where David defeated them. David said, God burst out against my enemies by my hand, like waters burst out. Therefore they called the name of that place Baal Perazim. They abandoned their gods there, so David ordered there and were burned with fire. But the Philistines again raided the valley. So David again inquired of God, and God said to him, do not go up after them, but circle around behind them and come against them in front of the Baca trees. As soon as you hear the sound of marching in the tops of the Baca trees, then go out to battle. For God has gone out before you to strike down the armies of the Philistines. David did just as God commanded him, and they struck down the Philistine army from Gibeon to Gezer. So the fame of David spread throughout every land, and Adonai brought the fear of him upon all nations. 1 Chronicles chapter 15. The ark enters Jerusalem. David built houses made for himself in the city of David. He then prepared a place for the ark of God and pitched a tent for it. And then David said, no one should carry the ark of God except the Levites, for Adonai has chosen them to carry the ark of Adonai and to serve him forever. David assembled all Israel at Jerusalem to bring the ark of Adonai up to its place that he had prepared for it. David gathered together the sons of Aaron and the Levites. From the sons of Kohath, Uriel, the leader of 120 of his kinsmen. From the sons of Merari, Asaiah, and the leader, and 220 of his kinsmen. From the sons of Gershom, Joel, the leader, and 130 of his kinsmen. From the sons of Eliaphan, Shemaiah, the leader, with 200 of his kinsmen. From the sons of Hebron, Eliel, the leader, with 80 of his kinsmen. From the sons of Uzziel, and Benadab, and the leader, and 112 of his kinsmen. David summoned Zadok and Abiathar, the Kohanim, along with the Levites, Uriel, Asaiah, Joel, Shemaiah, Eliel, and Aminadab. He told them, "You are the heads of the Levitical families. Sanctify yourselves, you and your kinsmen, so that you may bring up the ark of Adonai, the God of Israel, to the place that I have prepared for it, because you were not there for the first time. Adonai our God burst out upon us, for we did not seek him regarding the prescribed way." So the Kohanim and the Levites sanctified themselves in order to bring up the ark of Adonai, the God of Israel. The Levites carried the ark of God on their shoulders with poles, just as Moses commanded according to the word of Adonai. David ordered the leaders of the Levites to appoint their kinsmen, singers with musical instruments, harps, lyres, and cymbals, to joyfully make their voices heard. So the Levites appointed Herman, son of Joel, from his brothers, Asaph, son of Berechiah, from their brothers, the descendants of Merari, Ethan, son of Cushiah, and with them the relatives, second in rank, Zechariah ben Jahaziel, Shemaramath, Jehiel, Uni, Eliab, Benaiah, Maaseiah, Mattathiah, Eliphalehu, and Mechaniahu, and the gatekeepers Obed-Edom and Jael. The singers Heman, Asaph, and Ethan were to sound the bronze cymbals. Zechariah, Aziel, Shemiramo, Jehiel, Uni, Eliab, Maaseiah, and Benaiah were to play harps according to Alamoth. But Mattathiah, Eliphalehu, Milcaniah, Obed-Edom, Jehiel, and Azaziah were to lead with lyres according to the Sheminith. Chenaniah, leader of the Levites in music, was to direct the music because he was a master. Berechiah and Elkanah, the gatekeepers for the ark, the Kohanim, Shebaniah, Jehoshaphat, Nethanel, Amasai, Zechariah, Benaiah, and Eleazar were to blow the trumpets before the ark of God. Obed-Edom and Jehiah were gatekeepers for the ark. So David and the elders of Israel and the commanders of the thousands went to bring up the ark of the covenant to Adonai out of the house of Obed-Edom with rejoicing, because God helped the Levites who were carrying the ark of the covenant of Adonai. They sanctified 7 bulls and 7 rams. Now David was clothed with a robe of fine linen, as were all the Levites who were carrying the ark, as were the singers, and Hananiah, the leader of the songs of the singers. David also wore a linen ephod. Thus all Israel brought up the ark of the covenant of Adonai with shouting, with the sound of the shofar, trumpets, and cymbals, and the playing of lyres and harps. As the ark of the covenant of Adonai came into the city of David, Michal, Saul's daughters, looked out the window. When she saw King David dancing and celebrating, she despised him in his heart.